European politicians, scientists and experts have highly evaluated the achievements of independent Kazakhstan. Director of the European Institute for Asian Studies, Axel Goethals, highlighted that the success is based on the country's multi-vector foreign policy, which is aimed at ensuring stability in the region and maintaining friendly relations, not only with all neighboring countries but also with major far abroad states.
Kazakhstan is now ready for the future. And you see it already, the developments. It's also playing, I would say, a very important role initiated by President Nazarbayev. I would say a place for, well, we have seen here also in the documentary about the religious conference, religious, I would say, peace and contacts between all the different religions in the world.
The U.S. Department of State has spoken highly of Kazakhstan's contribution to global non-proliferation, as well as the country's peacekeeping efforts and measures on supporting stability and security. This was stated by the Acting Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs, Alice Wells, at a Washington reception in celebration of the upcoming Independence Day in Kazakhstan.
United Nations Atomic Energy Commission, and it will set up, and it's now actually started working very, very recently. It's called a bank for low enriched uranium to send to other countries that need it for energy purposes. But that is what Kazakhstan has done. It's gone from a Soviet Union nuclear proliferator to a country that is helping other countries survive with their electricity. And that's a huge accomplishment.
Kazakhstan shared its experience on the repatriation of its citizens from conflict zones and their reintegration into the society with the United Nations. The successful humanitarian action program Zhusan is an unprecedented event, causing resonance and attracting the attention of world community. Experts have never heard about such a large-scale repatriation of women and children. More than 600 citizens have returned to Kazakhstan from the conflict zones.
Казахстан, безусловно, является, по-моему, едва ли не первым государством, который провел такую масштабную.
Kazakhstan is certainly the first state to conduct such a large-scale operation on returning its citizens from conflict zones. This is without doubt. At the current meeting, we would like to highlight the responsibility of other states as well. There are still 70,000 people in the camps for temporarily displaced persons on the territory of the conflict zones, and the vast majority of them are children.
Находится порядка 70 тысяч человек. И подавляющее большинство из них это женщины и дети.
A pool of 4,000 investment projects has been formed in Kazakhstan. The pool will allow attracting 42 trillion tenge starting from 2020 to 2024. This was stated by President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, in his State of the Nation address. The support provided for small and medium-sized enterprises will have a positive impact on economic development as well. As part of the implementation of the Business Roadmap program, 250 billion tenge will be allocated in the upcoming 2 years. Furthermore, SMEs will be exempted from taxes for 3 years, starting from January 1st, 2020. Therefore, this sector will have nearly 400 billion tenge. This is a good amount. The money saved will allow entrepreneurs to reinvest in their working capital and improve their business activities. Of course, there will be no complete cancellation of inspections since the moratorium does not cover the inspections that are required to prevent mass threats to the population. It is also given at the request of the entrepreneur as well as based on other aspects that are mentioned in the decree. Over 7,000 studies and expertise of medicines and medical products will be conducted in the capital every year. A center for laboratory testing, which meets the world standards, has been launched. Kazakh healthcare minister and international experts have been introduced to the work of the center. Microbiological, physical, and chemical studies will be conducted to test the effectiveness, safety, and quality of domestic and foreign medicines. The research will be carried out in laboratories equipped with latest technologies. The center is the 7th laboratory of this kind in Kazakhstan.
Наша задача показать всем казахстанцам о том, что все
Our task is to show Kazakhs that all the conditions for ensuring the safety of medicines are available, specifically when registering, importing, and certifying the medicines. The pharmaceutical products are tested for side effects. These laboratories are created in order to check the medical products and take measures in cases where problems are detected. In total, in our country, we had 6 laboratories of this kind. This is the 7th new lab that meets the world standards of the good laboratory practice. We plan to be accredited. For this purpose, our international colleagues have arrived here.
коллеги и международные эксперты приехали сегодня.
Надеюсь, что данная лаборатория станет флагманом, так как она
I
центральная.
expect this laboratory will become a flagship lab among all the other labs. It's common that Kazakhstan has other laboratories, and we expect close and mutually beneficial cooperation between our lab centers. We also hope to see closer cooperation and development in different areas of regulation of drug distribution.
По разным направлениям регулирования обращения лекарственных средств.
South Korea strengthens cooperation with countries of Eurasia as well as Central Asia. This has been spoken about by experts in the first International Forum for Northern Economic Cooperation in Seoul. The countries have resources and technologies that can form a market through the Eurasian Logistics Network.
한국의 혁신 기술과
This event is very important to create a system of cooperation and coexistence that combines innovative technologies of Korea, Russian science and technologies, as well as digital technologies of Korea and aerospace technologies of Kazakhstan.
이런 행사가
The need to strengthen cooperation between Korea and the most economically developed country of Central Asia, Kazakhstan, was also discussed at the forum. Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency suggested the companies to actively invest in the field of digital technologies in Kazakhstan. Another promising area is Kazakh Mining and Metallurgical Complex.
В качестве стратегических таких направлений.
Probably the mining and metallurgical complex, in which Kazakhstan has very extensive experience, could be mentioned as one of the strategic areas of cooperation between Kazakhstan and South Korea. Korea also has a certain dependence on the supply of such materials, as well as certain resources that are used as raw materials besides only strategic materials.
Которые используются как сырье.
South Korea plans to increase its trade value with Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan to $20 billion by 2023. The country plans to invest in the development of the automotive industry, pharmaceuticals, digital healthcare, and the IT area. Winter tourism season is opened in Isyk-Kul region. Tourists from Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, New Zealand and European countries have arrived for the opening of the season. In addition, local visitors have also arrived from different regions of the country. Workers of the ski resort have prepared the ski routes for the tourists.
It's wonderful to be here in Karakol. It's always nice with the scenery and the weather like today. And so I come here. Have come here many times, and I really enjoy it. Today arrived about 10 o'clock, and the weather is so good to ski and feel really good today. It's such a nice place to be.
More than 25,000 tourists attended the opening of the winter season in 2018. Organizers said that the same number of tourists is expected to take part in the early days of the new tourism season. Beauties of the mountain peaks as well as interesting tracks excite people who will be interested in visiting the region again. Kazakhstan's regions are increasing their tourism potential. For example, authorities in the Almaty region plan to increase the number of tourists to 7 million in 5 years. Nearly $1 billion will be invested to build mountain resort. There are approximately 800 facilities for tourists in Jatisu. Within the last 5 years, the number of travelers in the region has increased by 2.5 times and reached 2 million, while the service market has grown by 3.5 times. Currently, marketing is being done in the region in order to attract more tourists. A large-scale inventory of the tourism potential has been carried out. Jetisu.travel website is working. In addition, information on 8,000 facilities generally has been listed in global booking platforms and maps such as Google and Yandex. This year, we have signed a memorandum with Wikipedia as well. Tourist centers will play a significant role in increasing the tourism potential. The first tourist center has been opened in Turkestan. The facility has been built as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program on the territory of the Oterar State Archaeological Museum. The visitor center will contribute to the promotion of Oterar's rich heritage among Kazakhs and foreigners, as well as ensure the preservation and protection of cultural and historical heritage. Restoration workshops and exhibition rooms have been located on the first floor of the building. The visitor center will contribute to the increase of the number of tourists as well as the preservation of the monument. It should become the center of cultural tourism. Our goal is to preserve the historical and cultural heritage on the territory of the Oterar Museum Reserve and create all conditions for tourism development. Literature connects people and countries. Works of Kazakh writers such as Abay Kunanbayoli, Makhjan Jumabayev, Ilyas Jansugerov, Mukagali Makatayev, Tahir Zharokov, and other classic writers have been translated into Armenian language. The meticulous and time-consuming work on the anthology of the Kazakh literatures took several years to be completed.
Об этом еще полвека назад мечтали классики армянской советской поэзии.
Classic writers of Armenian Soviet poetry, Silva Kaputikyan, Parvir Sevak, and Gevor Emin dreamed of this half a century ago. The presented anthology can be very useful not only for Orientalists, literary critics, and country specialists studying Kazakh language, history, and culture, but also for a wide range of readers.
Культурой братского Казахстана, но и широкому кругу читателей.
Our great mission is to study the Kipchak Armenian manuscripts. Kipchaks are our ancestors. If we translate the preserved information about the Kipchaks from Armenian language, then we see that the root of our friendship goes back centuries ago. The writers from both countries have many creative plans. One of the plans is to translate compositions of Armenian writers and poets into Kazakh. The Yerevan literature team is planning to republish The Path of Abay novel by Mukhtar Awezov. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child has marked its 30th anniversary in Kazakhstan. Winners of the #Kids for Rights drawing competition for children have been awarded as part of the global campaign in the capital. The creative contest has been held by the delegation of the European Union to Kazakhstan in association with the UN Children's Fund as well as with Belgian and Swiss embassies. The goal of the competition is to encourage the best works that reflect an understanding of the concept. In total, 200 works were submitted by participants from all regions in Kazakhstan. An exposition has been organized showcasing 30 works by finalists.
We need to remind ourselves of the importance of this convention, and I think it's so we have decided to take this initiative. Not only the artistic quality of the pictures that you can see here, which have participated in this competition, but also the fact that they bear witness of the fact that these children are already very well aware of the issues, that they do have rights, and I think that is also very encouraging.
Моего сына зовут Ермухамед Хасим. Ермухамед нарисовал то, что он каждый день играет.
My son's name is Yermukhamed Khasim. He drew how he plays every day with other kids. There you can see Square in the city, the school where he studies, as well as his friends with disabilities. We think that all children have to express their feelings and rights, even in such a childish form. This method can help the children to feel more protected and secured.
Тем самым это помогает детям чувствовать себя более защищенными.